Okay, so this tutorial is going to focus on layers, and we're going to just sort of explain what they are and why we have them, and just give you a short demonstration. So we'll go ahead and open a document here, and you'll see when you open a document, it just creates a default background layer, and that layer is locked as well. So if you wanted to make any changes to it, first thing you can do, and should do really, is duplicate that layer. You can either give it a name, or just go by the default there, background copy. And if you look at these little icons here, just allows you to see what each of these layers is, so it makes them either visible or invisible, and that just helps you work with each individual layer and the different elements that you might have there. Now for this image here, I'm going to add this Spider-Man, add him into this image over here. Now I've already cut him out, drawn around him, so what I need to do is make sure that I've selected the move tool over here, and that allows me to pick him up and go straight over to this image and drop him in here. Now what I want to do is I want to try and put him in behind these bushes here. See how he stands in front, on top of these bushes? That's obviously not what we want. We wanted to make it look like he's standing in behind there. Now first thing I'll do is just resize him, just so that he looks more like right sort of height that he should be. If you're resizing, you should lock the ratio here so that they're the same. If it's unlocked, you get these sort of squashed and stretched versions, but if you lock it, it'll keep the proportions right. So I think he should be about probably about that tall. I think it's about right, and we just accept that. Okay, and to zoom in and out like this, it's just Control plus and Control minus. Okay, so we'll have him about there. Okay, but notice how it looks like he's standing on top of the bushes here. We don't want that. And we can see this here is the layer where Spider-Man is. Now, in order to put him behind that, we need to create another layer that goes over the top of these, and I can use this background layer that we had before, and put that firstly over the top. Okay, so that makes him invisible because the whole image is covering him. One of the things we can do is create a layer mask, and that just allows us to make certain parts visible or invisible depending on whether this little bit is white or black, or whether the features inside this are white or black, and I'll show you what I mean. So at the moment the whole image is, the whole layer mask is white, which means that everything in this image is visible. Now if I want to change that, just go to my bucket fill. Because I'm selected in my layer mask and I've got black selected, we can see now that the whole layer mask is black, so that means everything is invisible from this layer, and I've done that because I only want to make this little bit here visible. So what I do is I want to make these little bits here white. I get my paintbrush, where is it? There it is, paintbrush, and I can simply paint in these little sections here. Let me zoom in a bit. Okay, so you can see how as I'm painting it. And bushes come through. Okay, now if I'm still not quite happy, or if I've made a bit of a mistake, just do a bit of that. Okay, I'll leave it at that for now. But as you can see, if you look here, you can see just that little tiny little white bit, and all that I've done. If we hide everything else, this is all we're seeing from this layer. And then you put Spider-Man there. He's underneath, so he's underneath that, and then you've got your background there. And that's how, with the various layers, we can create and change the image and manipulate it. And you can also make layers that affect the whole image. So let's say I wanted to make an adjustment for let's say the color balance, and just to show you how it affects everything. Now let's say it's sort of whatever. And so I don't like it, I can just delete it. Let's say for this image here, we've got our Spider-Man here selected. Let's say I want 2 Spider-Men. I can duplicate this layer. I can also rename these so that I'm going to call that Spider-Man 2, and this one is oops. Spider-Man 1. So now I've got Spider-Man 2 selected. I use my move tool, and there we go. I can move him around. Yeah, let's imagine he's actually a ghost. We can change the opacity, and he becomes invisible, or partly invisible. And that's sort of, you can play around with those sorts of things. So that's just a general idea of what layers are and how they work. You'll find that the more details you try and fix or add to your image, you'll end up with quite a lot of layers. But hopefully this sort of gives you an idea of what they are and how you can work with them.